venoms. Of course, scientists now want to harness the power of the fang blenny and create a pharmaceutical out of it, because that's exactly what the world needs right now. Do you sense the eye rolling? Common kingslayer. The common kingslayer is one of the tiniest sea creatures around, as well as the most poisonous. It is also commonly known as the Rukanji jellyfish, which is a rather intimidating name for such a little guy. It is responsible for ending the life of Nestle research scientist Robert King. Hence its name, Kingslayer. Well, that's definitely one way to come up with an animal's name. The tiny little jellyfish is so dangerous that it might completely collapse tourism in Queensland, Australia. The area already had its share of venomous water creatures, and the rising sea temperatures aren't helping. Beaches in Queensland have been closing down ever since one of these jellyfish was found in the water and stung a boy. The common Kingslayer roughly grows to about a cubic centimeter, typically growing no bigger than your fingernail. Why the name Irukandji? The jellyfish's sting causes a reaction known as Irukandji syndrome, which includes excruciating pain, muscle spasms, and vomiting. It can even cause fluid to build in the lungs, toxic heart failure, and brain damage. In Robert King's case, he was perfectly healthy one moment and then suddenly passed from toxin-induced hypertension. Do you still want to visit Australia after learning about this little guy? Remipede. You typically don't hear about crustaceans being venomous, but there is one blind kind that you won't want to get near. The remipede was first discovered in the 1980s, and it lives in the underwater caves of Western Australia, the Caribbean, and the Canary Islands. It's a crustacean that looks like a centipede, and it has a toxic venom that is powerful enough to turn your insides into mush. Its venom is actually very similar to a spider's neurotoxin. Given how tiny this thing is, its dangerous ability makes sense, since it doesn't seem to have the ability to chew. The remipede has tiny claws in the front of its body, as well as fangs, both of which are used to inject the venom into its prey. Scientists didn't even realize it was venomous until they noticed the remipede eating other crustaceans. And how small is the remipede? Let's just say that it matches the water flea in size. The only other crustacean that is a known hunter is the mantis shrimp. When it comes to human contact, it's unknown whether the remipede's venom would have any effect, but it isn't something that people are eager to find out. Caribbean clingfish. If you haven't caught on so far, the theme of this video is that you shouldn't judge a small water creature by its size. The tiniest ones have proven to be the most dangerous. The clingfish gets its name because it's a tiny fish that clings to the bellies of bigger fish. You could call it a parasite. Initially, it was thought that the various species of clingfish were harmless. However, in May 2014, Dr. Kevin Conway of Texas A&M's Department of Wildlife and his team discovered a species of clingfish that are indeed poisonous. The team discovered a unique venom pouch inside the fish that had never been seen before. This particular species, called the Caribbean clingfish, are no stranger to being studied. In fact, Dr. Conway said that this type of fish has been studied for over 260 years, and previous researchers seem to have somehow missed the venom pouch. Before you start on a rampage to get rid of all the Caribbean clingfish, just keep listening. While the fish might be common around the Caribbean, we don't really know about the full toxic properties of it just yet. Our guess is that it's only dangerous to the fish that try to prey on it. Poison dart frog. If you didn't already know that the poison dart frog is poisonous, well, there's not much that we can do for you. While we already know that it's dangerous, there are some other pretty cool things about this tiny creature too. Known scientifically as the dendrobatid, this animal is one of the better-known poisonous creatures in the world. While they might not live in the water full-time, the adults do carry their tadpoles in water. The golden poison dart frog also has enough poison to take down 20,000 mice. These tiny guys range in size from 0.75 to 1.5 inches, if they even get to be that big. Their bright colors indicate just how toxic they are. The brighter their color, the more poisonous they can be. You could say that their colors are a big warning sign to not eat them. The poison secretes through their skin, and it is believed that the frog gets its venom from consuming other poisonous plants and bugs. Instead of succumbing to the venom, the poison dart frog stores it for future use and protection. These little guys can live anywhere between 3 and 15 years, with the latter being especially true if they are living under human care. Smooth toadfish. It's not news that the pufferfish is poisonous. While some people are willing to risk their lives to eat this fish, others are steering clear so that they can live to see another day. The smooth toadfish is a type of pufferfish that looks like a hybrid between an alien and Baby Dory from the movie Finding Dory. While cute, you'll still want to swim the other way, even if it is the easiest pufferfish to handle when inflated. As mentioned before, this is a fish that you don't want to eat, as the tetrodotoxin is potent in the liver, ovaries, skin, and intestines. You can find this little guy in the waters of southeastern Australia, and it can vary in color from yellow to green with brown spots. The smooth toadfish has been studied for over a century, with the earliest accounts dating back to the 18th century. The smooth toadfish is also considered to be poisonous since it stores its poison inside of its body. Flamboyant cuttlefish. The flamboyant cuttlefish looks like a creature that's ready to walk a runway, complete with strobe lights and glitter. However, don't let its appearance deceive you into thinking that it's welcome on your dinner plate. While eating cuttlefish is a well-known practice, eating the flamboyant cuttlefish might send you to an early grave. This little guy can change colors. Remember the poison dart frog and all of its colorful glory? The toxicity theory is the same here with the flamboyant cuttlefish, and it's believed to be the most poisonous of its kind. So, fabulous and toxic? Sounds like lots of people we know. Its bright and changing colors serve as a warning to predators to keep away. But where exactly is the poison? It's located in the muscles of the flamboyant cuttlefish, and there is enough in there to take down a full-grown adult. So if there's anything you've learned in this video so far, it's that the most colorful creatures might be the ones that you want to stay away from. And here's some extra trivia for you. Did you know that the cuttlefish isn't a fish? It's actually related to squids and octopi. These little guys usually grow to about 3 inches, but some have been seen as small as 2.4 inches. Blue-ringed octopus. The blue-ringed octopus is so tiny that it can fit in the palm of your hand. In fact, it's just slightly smaller than a golf ball. Yet this tiny thing has quite the punch when it comes to poison. There are about 10 different species of the blue-ringed octopus, and they are all quite deadly. Its blue rings can be seen most of the time, even when the octopus changes color to blend into its surroundings. When these creatures are alarmed, blue rings become more apparent all over their bodies. The blue-ringed octopus reaches a size of only 5 to 10 centimeters, and they weigh around 28 grams. You would think that something so tiny and light would be more harmless. Even with being so small, their bodies are rather powerful because they don't have a skeleton. If this is enough to scare you from exploring the ocean, fear not. The blue-ringed octopus doesn't go out looking for trouble, and they usually blend in with whatever coral they're hiding in. Textile cone snail. It's been nicknamed the cloth of gold, but you wouldn't want to pick up this next creature. You can find it in a variety of waters, from French Polynesia to Africa to Hawaii. This small water creature definitely goes into the venomous category. The average length of the textile cone snail is about 3.5 inches, making it a small and mighty contender with the other dangerous water creatures in this video. This snail has sharp, needle-like hollow teeth. When it bites its prey, it injects a venom called conotoxin into their body. But when it comes to human contact, you usually don't have to worry about it unless you end up stepping on one or accidentally pick one up on the beach. Its venom is strong enough to end the lives of 60 adults. The textile cone snail is very apparent from the markings on its shell. This snail can be found in shallow waters, minding its own business underneath rocks and coral. Its shell is glossy and heavy, and the snail itself has a short spine. It usually eats mollusks. But if it ever finds itself in starvation mode, the textile cone snail will become a cannibal and eat its own kind. Intense, right? Blue glaucus. Also called the blue dragon and the blue angel, the blue glaucus is part of the nudibranch family. This unique-looking sea slug looks like it came straight out of James Cameron's Avatar movie, but it is a very real and tiny creature. Isn't it adorable? It's one of the most beautiful creatures in the water, but we wouldn't recommend trying to eat it. You can typically find it on Australia's Gold Coast, as well as in other areas with warm water. While it is cute, you don't want to let one get too close to you. It has the ability to sting its prey, and it is also a carnivore. It even goes after prey that is much bigger than itself. To reiterate, this sea slug is about 1.5 inches and is able to take down prey that is much, much bigger. The blue glaucus is even immune to the poison of the Portuguese man-o-war. This means that it can feed on the dangerous jellyfish and then store its poison for future use. The craziest thing about this process is that the blue glaucus can even make the stored poison more potent while it's in storage. In short, if you see one of these little guys swimming around, don't pick it up.